Okay, here we go. It's another Wednesday morning. 31st Street and Fashion Avenue. Let's see what the bus stop time and temperature is. You've got 8:16 a.m. and 30 degrees, 33 degrees Fahrenheit out here, just above freezing. What is today? The April 9? So it's cold for April. I think it's the 9th. I vaguely remember Monday being the 7th. I'm not playing today. I got on my winter coat. The long painted coat is back for the first time in a few weeks. All right, let's go this way. I think Monday it was like 41, 42 degrees and rainy. And I had my spring coat on. It was a little cold. This morning the temperature was like 30 when I left. I was like, I ain't playing. I'm not pretending it's not winter temperature out here. Let's take a look around as we walk. Here goes an electric scooter. No, what are those called? I forget. Scooters are the one you ride on. Oh, an electric bicycle. And I hit the comic shop on my way home today. Weird, not a lot of, though I bought a lot of comics last week and this week, not a lot of my regular stuff. I think last week I had maybe 9 comics, but 4 of them were because my friend Chris Geruso drew the covers on them. He's doing a series of covers for some alternate Marvel comics, recreating the official handbook of the Marvel Universe covers that were done in the 80s, I think. And let's see, I got 4, he had 4 covers last week. They're all wraparound covers too. And he's got 4 covers coming out this week. But I think both last week and this week, there's only like 1 of my regular comics. And then I got a lot of new first issues and one-shots and things. So it's been a weird run. Let's get onto the road. Oh, now we can make it across. No. There's a little bit of congestion. So let's see, this week I think I have 7 comics, 4 of them being Chris Geruso covered ones that I don't regularly get from Marvel. I think I have like 1 regular comic. I think it might be the new issue of Spawn. And then maybe there's 2 more like first issues I pre-ordered. So it's been a strange couple of weeks for me in comics, reading a lot of new stuff. But that's okay, I like new stuff. I wouldn't have pre-ordered them if I wasn't interested in them. Alright, we can make it across here. Let's see my coat. There we go. You can see I got the big winter coat on, my painted shoulders. That's the goes all the way to almost to the ground. It's the long coat. Just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of that. Because it is cold out here this morning. Let's see what else is new. I was fixing my blinds yesterday. Over the weekend, was it over the weekend? At the end of last week, the blinds in my studio, right in front of my drawing table, broke and wouldn't stay up anymore. The locking mechanism on the side of the blinds where the string comes out of wasn't working anymore. Luckily, I searched the internet, found a place, I think it was called fixyourblinds.com, that had the part I needed. So the part came yesterday, and I added new string to my blinds and put this new locking mechanism in place, and so far it's working. Because I didn't want to, because I think the part cost me $20, but new blinds would cost $200. Oh, so we got to stop here. There's the garbage truck, and the other cars go by. Whole Food across the way. School bus. All right. Light is in our favor. And I also, in more comic book news, news to me at least, got something on the way from eBay that should be arriving this week. And that's in the early 90s, when I was working in the Marvel bullpen, there used to be these guys who also worked at Marvel called Romita's Raiders. And they worked with John Romita in sort of in an art corrections capacity. When some art came in that needed to be fixed, corrected, done differently, the Romita Raiders, they were sort of apprentices to John. I think each one, like the position only lasted a year, and they'd have a new crop of Romita's Raiders every year. There's usually 3, maybe 4 of them, sometimes only 1. It all depended. But there was one Romita's Raider, Vince Melcarek was his name. I say was because he died back in the early 90s suddenly. No, he was a young guy, but had an aneurysm or something. I don't know if we ever found, that's what the word was, but I don't know if we ever actually found out. I knew him a little bit. Like that I didn't know him. He wasn't a particularly good friend or anything, but he was a co-worker. I knew him. And recently I saw someone show on Facebook a tribute comic to him, like a memorial comic to Vince, which I never knew existed. It came out in the early 90s, of course. I think that it said there's some John Romita work in there and other things. People did drawings for his memorial. But I was like, oh, let me look on eBay and see if this is available. And sure enough, it was. It was usually, it's one of the, when you're buying a cheap comic on eBay, like when I mean cheap, let's say between $1 and $5. Often, like, the shipping is as much as the comic itself. So, like, the least you're going to get a cheap comic for on eBay is about $8, probably closer to $10. So I looked on eBay, found they had a bunch of them, all around $10, $12 total with shipping and tax. They had this one guy, I think it was a guy in Staten Island, and I think Vince lived in Staten Island. I don't know if he came from there or he just lived there. But it had, I believe it was 14 or 15 copies of the book, all for sale at once for about the same price as one copy. I think, and then I swear, I don't know if you guys have shopped on eBay or what much, but sometimes you look at something on eBay, then you get an email saying, "Oh, you've got an offer," and I don't even know if it's like automatic, if the seller actually sends you an offer, or it's set up automatically to send someone who's interested in an offer, or if eBay themselves automatically send you an offer. But I think it was $10 for the 15 copies, and then I got an offer of $8 for the 15 copies, plus shipping and tax. Ended up being about $13, I think. So I ended up with, when it arrives, I'm going to have 15 copies of this memorial book, which I think I'm going to give away to whoever wants one. I'll see how many of us are left from the early 90s who are interested in such a thing. But I was like, okay, I may as well get the 15 copies. Let's see, we got cars coming here. A lot of cars coming. That's the, if you notice across the street, I don't know if you can tell, this is the one, 20th Street? The one street where the cars park on the diagonal. So when I'm walking back up to Penn at night, it's tough to look down that street and see if there's any cars coming, because the cars are at the diagonal over there. We're walking the edge of the sidewalk now. Better go back in. So yeah, I got those Vince Melcherick memorial copies coming, comics. Gonna hit the comic shop today and get some stuff. I don't know if I get any other comics. Oh, we're gonna be on, well, this will be too late to tell you since I usually post these on Saturday. But on Friday night, we'll be doing our normal Cavern of Chaos show, but over on Paolo's channel. They used to be on my channel every week, but we use a little piece of software called StreamYard, which I'm not even sure if we need anymore, because the way the way YouTube has their stream, I think they reset up their streaming a different way, but I really haven't looked into it. But they're actually a pay service, StreamYard. They want you to pay to use their abilities to multi-stream people. But they do give you a few free, used to be 20 hours a month free. And just this month, April, or March, I think it was last one, they cut the 20 hours down to 5 hours. So now I can't, and our Friday night stream is usually about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So where I used to be able to do, 4 streams a month easily of that length, I can now only do 2. So we're going to switch off. 1 week on Paolo's channel, 1 week on my channel. So this week, Paolo is going to host the show. Last week I did. Well, that'll be our new schedule for our Cavern of Chaos show. Every other week, we're going to switch channels. By the way, I'm glad I have this big coat on. Well, I'm toasty warm. I even put the, and not only have the big coat on, I have the fleece short coat underneath it. That was my deep winter outfit. 2 coats. Short coat and a big coat. Under the scaffolding. What are we coming up on? 16th Street's in front of us? I've been chatting away here. I'm walking on the subway. Let's walk on the subway green for a while. I can feel the warmth coming up from the subway. Pigeon with some bread. Pretty blue sky out there this morning too. I noticed as I walked down.
See you later.
Birthday. That bike to go by and dash across. Let's see, I did a few new tiny drawings this week. I don't think I've showed you the tiny drawings I've done. I've been making little 1 inch by 1.5 inch cartoons. Tiny drawings, I call them, like tiny pieces of paper. And they've got a cartoon stripped down to its most basic form. 1 character, 1 word balloon, 1 word. I've been giving them out. Whoever I happen to see during the day, which is usually students and other people I work with. I'd give them out on the street, but nobody really cares. Everybody's just walking to get where they want to go. Nobody cares about tiny drawings on the streets of New York. I've been thinking about hiding it, like geocaching them, except I've never done geocaching. I'll have to look into that. It'll be fun to hide tiny little drawings somewhere. Geocache them. Geocaching, I think, is where people follow coordinates to places where things are, little trinkets are placed. At least that's my understanding of it. Like I said, I really haven't looked into it that much or done it. But I think I might geocache some drawings. Some tiny drawings. That's my plan, at least. As of right now, I just thought it up. My nose is running due to this cold. Not that I have a cold, the cold of the day. All right, let's cross 14th Street. Before I have to turn and face the sun with the camera, I'll say goodbye, and we will catch you next time.